Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of the Fishing Teacher, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel, spend some time with me today. Always very grateful for that. And guys, today I sort of want to have a sort of an extensive little conversation. I want to talk about how to choose the right lure for the right area that you're fishing. I think this is one of the biggest, challenges that people have that just get started bass fishing, or even if you have been fishing for a while, is knowing what lure to start with that will allow you to not only maximize, the efficiency that you're in, but catch the most fish. So this is a type of topic we could talk for hours about, but I'm going to give you guys sort of some foundational advice that gives you some good starting points in today's video. I'm also, guys, just a couple quick housekeeping tips that you guys probably dread hearing every day, but you got to put up with it on the channel here. Just like invite everybody to please swing by fishthemoment.com. Check out my fall lake map breakdowns that we got going. Actually got them for all year long, but right now we got the fall we're trying to push right now. These are maps I build for fishthemoment.com. There's real good resources to learn more about your favorite lake or any lake that you need to get some info on. So I'll put the link in the description. And also, guys, we got a new shipment of my Blaukat throwback jigs at Tackle Warehouse this week. So if you guys are interested in getting a few of my throwback jigs, I'll put the Tackle Warehouse throwback jig link in the description of the video. Really appreciate that. Okay, guys, this is one of the foundational, fundamental challenges that everybody has. It's like when you pull into an area, say, for example, you see an area that looks fishy, that you think there might be some bass there, what is the best lure choice for that particular area? And this is a difficult question to comprehend or to theorize on, because there's no one right answer, but you have to start somewhere. It's like, ultimately, one of the things that you really have to remember in bass fishing is that you have to let the fish tell you what they want. Because a lot of times I can give you guys advice like I'm giving you here, or you can get other type of advice, and it may work sometime, but sometimes the fish just prefer something different. That's one of those mysterious parts of bass fishing that makes it so challenging and difficult sometimes. But nevertheless, you got to have a starting point somewhere. So that's what I want to try to do in today's videos, to give you guys, sort of an example of that. Now, the determining factor as far as the lure choice that you have, there's a lot of variables surrounding that. Those variables include water temperature, water level, water clarity. Those are some of the biggest, type of things that you're going to have to deal with. So let's talk a little bit about that. One of the things, in my opinion, that you hear me talking a lot about on this channel is water clarity. Water clarity and water temperature, if you know what those two things are, you can pretty much, have a pretty good idea what those fish are going to bite at about any time. So really pay attention to that. It's like, base all your opinions, base all of your, ideas and your preparation around those two factors, water temperature and water clarity. So here's what you have to realize. Let's say, for example, let's talk about a row of boat docks that you're fishing. Now, how you're going to choose your lures on that particular row of boat docks depends upon your water clarity and your water temperature for the most part, because the water clarity is going to give you a framework of what type of lures are going to work the best in terms of lures that have different type of water displacement or vibration or color. And the water temperature is also going to narrow that down a little bit as well, as far as your lure categories they're going to work. So let's talk about, I'll just use this as one example, but you can apply this to any cover. You could apply it to a rocky bank. You could apply it to fishing lay down trees or a grass bed or whatever. Let's just talk about a boat dock as a sort of an example here. So let's go from one extreme to the other. Let's start out in dirty water. If you pull up here, the area that you're fishing is some boat docks and dirty water. What do you want to choose? What's your lure choice going to be for that dirty water? Okay, before you make that determination, you got to figure out the water temperature in correlation with that dirty water, and then you've got to figure out the depth that the boat docks are in. So there's a big difference. It's like some boat docks may be piling type docks that are in real shallow water, and then you may have a boat dock that is out over deeper water that's just floating out there. So there's not one thing that's going to fit all. But in general, when you're dealing with dirty water, and when I'm talking about dirty water, I'm talking about water visibility that's under 12 inches, you're going to have to use baits that trigger a strike from water displacement and color. The visual strike is going to be pretty much gone in that type of a deal. So for the dirty water, first thing that I'm going to choose out there is I'm going to choose a bait that vibrates a lot, that has some rattles in it, that moves a lot of water, maybe something that's a little bit larger. And I'm going to choose some type of a brighter color, like a chartreuse or a pearl or a white. That's going to be my first determination. The second determination with that same situation is going to be the depth of the water and the water temperature along there, because let's say, for example, I think that a spinnerbait is going to work good, if the water temperature is 65 degrees. But what if the water temperature is 45 degrees? That spinnerbait's probably not going to be as effective in that same area, and I may have to slow down with like a dark colored jig, something that falls real slow, that allows me to be real precise and work that bait slow, for those bass that are in a little bit, of an inactive feeding mood for the most part. Now, that changes as the water clarity changes. It's like as you go from 1 foot visibility to 2 feet to 3 feet to 4 feet on up there, the techniques and the approaches are going to be a little bit different, because let's say, for example, let's just stay on that row boat docks. But again, apply it to whatever cover you have in your lake, because you can associate it with that. Let's say, for example, we get into some boat docks that have 2 to 3 foot of clarity on it. Now, at that time, with 2 to 3 foot of clarity, we can focus on lures that maybe have a little bit of a combination of a vibration and water displacement, but also a visual attractant, because the fish can see a little bit better. So if we've got 2 to 3 foot of visibility in a situation like that, maybe some type of a swim bait, like a mega bass mag draft, something that the fish can see visually coming through the water, yet there's some water displacement from the vibration of the tail. Same with a slower bait. If you have that type of water visibility and for whatever reason the fish don't want to hit some type of a moving, reaction type bait, then instead of the dark colored jig, like a black and blue jig, we may go to something like a brown jig, some type of brown or green may a little bit better, something a little bit more subtle in the water column. So that changes with that. And then again, it changes with the water clarity and the water temperature. And then on the other end of the spectrum, let's say we got some really clear water. Say the water visibility is over 4 feet, where these fish can see really, really good. In a situation like that, we're going to have to be very aware of the visual look of a lure. So if you're in 4 foot of water, 4 foot of clarity on the water, the fish can see the bait and study it really good. So your lure selection, when you approach a new area like that, you're going to have to concentrate on baits that are natural looking and look real. That's why baits like jerk baits work really good. Some natural looking swim baits can work good. Your finessey baits like shaky heads, finesse jigs, and Ned rigs can work good, or top waters. Top water can be effective if the water temperature is right too. But in general, when you are looking for how to start or what lures to start in an area, always have that as your guideline. Have the water temperature, water clarity, cover, and the water level and the water depth to make that determination. And if you use those sort of that system that I talked there, you can apply that to anything. You can apply it to fishing a rocky bank, what I just told you there, or anything. So it gives you a good starting point, but ultimately, guys, just like I said, you have to let the fish tell you what they want. So that's where you really have to experiment and use your own creativity and ingenuity to figure out what they want. So hope it helps out, guys. We'll talk later.